In this video, we're going to make a glue pry bar with a nail on the end. You might ask, why would you ever need a glue pry bar? The lids of these glue bottles can get dry and very difficult to open up. This just basically allows us to open it up as well as take off the lid. The nail side we can use to clean out any kind of dried glue on the inside of the structure here or inside the cap. Of course, I like to make tools, so it's not necessary to make one of these. You could do the same thing with a wrench and an awl. Let's get started. To get started, you're gonna have to have a little ridge around the top of your cap here. Titebond, I know that these Titebond bottles have it. If you don't have it on your bottle, then this project is not for you. We'll measure the diameter here. I'll put this up here and it's about 0.57. If I look at my chart here, 0.56 or 0.57 is gonna be 9/16 of an inch. Since we'll be using a Forstner bit and I don't personally have a 9/16 Forstner bit, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the 1/2 inch here. With my prototype, I did a 5/8, and while that does fit really well, it's a little loose. And I want this to be tight because I don't want to strip away the plastic. I went ahead and made a pattern here. You don't have to use this pattern. It's basically a hole at the end of a piece of wood, but I wanted to get this as close as I could and as tight as I could, so I made this pattern for you. It'll be on the webpage, just look for it in the printout. As far as wood to use, the original one I made was out of plywood, but I really like this walnut and I really like this edge here. So the next one I make is gonna be made out of this. I'll go ahead and take my pattern and I'm gonna cut it out, just roughly around it. The length of the wood that you'll need to use this pattern is 4 1/8 inches, and it's about an inch, maybe go 1 1/8 inches wide. Once you cut this out, we'll go ahead and use some glue. You don't need a lot, and I've put too much on here really, but I'll just move this around. I'll just go ahead and put this pattern on right in the center here. That's where it's really nice. I'm gonna let that dry and we'll come back. Now that this is dried, we'll go ahead and hit this point right here with an awl. We'll take this over to the drill press and we're gonna drill this out at 1/2 inch. Now you might cut this out and go, wait a minute, the outline of the hole is wrong. I did that on purpose so that we could cut it. Again, I don't have a 9/16 drill bit or a Forstner bit, so going to the 1/2 inch, we'll just go ahead and cut up to that line. Try that now, and that's a perfect fit. With the cap off, we'll go ahead and check the thickness of this. Looks like it's a little bit less than 3/8 of an inch. I went ahead and taped these all back together. I'm gonna do a giveaway, so I'm gonna give a couple of these away. We'll go ahead and try this now, and it works pretty good. Of course, this bottle isn't glued shut, so it's gonna work well. If I ever need to take it off, that also works. Because these things always get glue inside the cap, I'm gonna go ahead and add a nail to the back side of it. This is completely optional. I figure if I'm gonna take the time to make a tool, that I'm gonna try to add another feature to it so I can do more with it. I'll grab an awl here and I'm just gonna mark the center. If you wanna be more precise, you can always draw an X, but this will be just fine like that. I've got a 60 nail here. I'll go ahead and snip that end off, and that'll fit in there just like that. I'll use some epoxy to glue it in and we'll be done. We'll go ahead and use some 2-part epoxy. This is a 5-minute quick set. We'll let this cure and we'll come back. This is all finished up now, but I'm gonna add some Danish oil to it. I get asked all the time why I put so much effort into making these look nice, but at the end of the day, it's always nice to use tools that you've made that look good. And that's why I spend so much time trying to make them look nice. And I usually take care of it better. Here's an older bottle. I'll go ahead, it's easy to open up, but if you've ever taken one of these things off, they're really hard to take off. As you can see by the older one that I have, it's really chewed up because I've used pliers to pop it off. It takes a lot of effort. This, it really doesn't take as much effort. It pops off easily. And the thing I like about the nails, I can go in here and clean out all the dried glue. It's also good because I can clean this little spout here as well as the inside. And that's as good as new. I also like this because I can clean out my glue brushes with it. Technically, I could just use a small wrench to pop this off or to lift it up. And I could just use an awl to clean out the glue, but sometimes it's nice to have a tool that you made in your glue box ready for use. Thank you for watching, and let me know if this is something that you might make.